I'm Keith, and yesterday I created a My Social Security online account. Now, why did I do this? For the exact same reason I try to do as much as I can online when it comes to my vehicles. I do not like standing in line. I do not like driving to large buildings that are filled with bureaucracy. To me, those are way down on my list of fun things to do, and that was certainly the case here. So come along with me. I show you step by step how I did it. All right, let's get started. This is the place you want to go to sign up. Note at the top here in the rectangle, you want to go to ssa.gov/myaccount. You can also Google it if you want. Just type in Social Security, my account, and it should bring up this page. So you have two options here: create an account and sign in. I am going to create an account because sign in is for people who've already created an online account. Pretty self-explanatory there. So I am going to create an account. One note here, you can see the little yellow circle around my cursor here. That is done just so you can follow it easier. So we're going to click on create an account. Now, this is a little confusing here, at least it was for me. You're going to be brought to this screen next, and what you will see here is a number of options. Sign in with login.gov, sign in with id.me, sign in with Social Security username. Now, these options are for people who have already created an online account. So those are not for us here. Now, why it is when you press the first button that says you want to create an account, it takes you to this screen, I don't know. What we want, though, is this top little label here, create an account with login.gov. All right, so this is where we're going to go. Now, even here, it's still confusing. As you see, it says SSA is using login.gov to allow you to sign into your account safely and securely. That's not what we're doing, is it? No, we want to create an account. But what's highlighted here in blue is sign in. What we want to do is create an account. So as you can see, there is a sign in for existing users with your email address and password, which you have previously created. That's not what we are going to do here. We are going to create an account. So I'm going to click on that, and this is the next screen that it brings up. Create an account. Now you will see this is highlighted in blue. That's fine. So what we need to do is type in an email address we want to use. I'm going to type in mine. So I've typed in my address here, as you can see. All right, next up, select your language preference. I'm going to select English for my preference here. Spanish and French are the other two options. Now, a little checkbox that you may miss if you're not careful is this: I read and accept the login.gov rules. You can click that with your cursor and bring that up. If you do English default, it won't take you anywhere because you have to click here first, just like I did there. I have selected English as my default. So now I am going to hit submit. If you wanted to cancel, this would be your time to try to cancel. All right, if you want to read security practices, Privacy Act statement here, any of those kind of things, this is where you would want to use it. For this step-by-step, we're just going to go right to the submit page. All right, it's saying check your email. Do you see this? So they sent an email to my address, and this email contains a link. To confirm my email address, follow the link to continue creating your account. Now, if you check in a minute or two and you don't see the email, you would click on resend right here, this button right here. I'll highlight that real quick so you can see that. This is the resend button right there. All right. So now I am going to go and I'm going to open up my email, the one I created for this particular thing. I have multiple emails, as most of you probably do as well. This is obviously the one I just used for this site. Now I'm going to go in here and check. And as you can see, the good news is that I have received the confirmation email right there. Okay, so I know that so far so good. I'm going to click on that, open it up, okay, and again, click here to confirm your email address. Pretty self-explanatory there. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, next step, create a strong password. Now, they say this is an important thing here, okay? So pay attention. Your password must be 12 characters or longer. Don't use common phrases or repeated characters like ABC or 111. The reason is because it will be hacked, and the bad guys, wherever they are, will have your information. You really don't want this to happen. So, create for yourself a strong password, and I'm going to do that right now. All right, 12 characters or longer. I recommend that it's 13 characters or longer. I don't really worry all that much about special characters, numbers, and all that. As long as it is long and it's something that you have written down or otherwise stored somewhere like a password manager, that is the main thing that matters here. I'm going to do show password because I want to see it to make sure that it's right, because you're going to have to type it in again. Once more, it's going to be a long password, and I'm going to type it in, but of course I'm going to blur it out so you can't see it. There we go. As you can see down here, kind of hard to see at the bottom, it says my password strength is great, and it has all these green bars. That's telling you it is a very difficult password to crack. This would take even a high-level cracking machine probably thousands of years to crack, because it's a lot of letters. So keep that in mind at all times. And it does have password safety tips here. That's probably not a bad thing for you to look up. I don't need to, because it's something I know a fair bit about. So I'm going to hit continue. Oh, one more note. You can also hit cancel account creation if for some reason you want to stop, things haven't gone right, you want to start over again. All right, so let's continue. Okay, up next, authentication method setup. There's a number of ways to authenticate yourself. It says add another layer of security by selecting a multi-factor authentication method. We recommend you select at least 2 different options in case you lose one of your methods. This is good for extra security and, again, as a backup. You can do an SMS here. You can use an authentication app. There's tons of them out there. I use Google Authenticator, but there are many apps you can use. Security keys, government employee IDs, there's a lot of options here. For right now, for this, the simplest for me is to do a voice or text message. So I'm going to pick this option of all of these options here, and I'm going to hit continue. Going to add my phone number at this point, which you can imagine you have to do. Going to get a text message. So you can get a text message or a phone call. Most of us are going to want a text message, as am I. Going to click send code at this point. Remember, this is highlighted in blue, so this is the one that's selected. Send code. I'm going to click that. I did get the text message, and I can see it, and I can read that code, and I am going to enter that code. Okay, I am going to click, I entered the code. I'm also going to click remember this browser, so I don't have to sign in every single time I want to go here and check something. So I'm going to check remember this browser, going to click submit. Okay, now if something goes wrong and you don't get the code for whatever reason, sometimes these things just don't work, you want to click send another code and you should get another one and be able to enter that. All right, click submit. And before we get there, there's a little bit of troubleshooting here. Use another number. You didn't receive your code. Learn more about these authentication options. If you're not comfortable with getting a text message, you can do any of those. Just look it up there. All right, submit. Okay, and as we can see, a phone was added to my account. That's good. You've added your first authentication method. We are being told add a second method as a backup. Adding another authentication method prevents you from getting locked out of your account if you lose one of your methods. So for right now, I'm going to skip this. I may add another one later. I have a good secure password. I use a password manager, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. I'm going to click skip for now, but you can add another method there if you want. Okay, continue to SSA. We'll share your information with SSA to connect your account. Right there it is showing my email address, and it still gives you an option here to add a second authentication method. I probably am going to do this later, actually. Just don't want to do it right now. If you don't want to, you can agree and continue. You can also cancel at this point. I'm going to agree and continue. It's going to take a minute, do its stuff. It's going to tell us if you requested an activation code. This code is different from the security code you just verified. Activation codes may be received by text, voice, postal mail, or at an office. So I guess if you're at Social Security, you can do that. So there are those things. I have not requested an activation code, so I am going to press no. And then I'm going to click next down here. You must be able to verify, terms of service, you must be able to verify some information about yourself. And you have to do all of these things. I'm going to read over all of them, but I'm not going to do that right now because you would be asleep within 3 minutes, so let's not do that. The one thing you will need to do is scroll down to the bottom where it says, I agree to the terms of service. You're going to have to click that, accept it by clicking next. And I can type in my information here, so this is what we're going to do. Now here for your social security number, if you want to see it as you type it in, you can click the little I thing and then it'll show the numbers. Make sure to uncheck that and to make it little dots like you can see here when you're done, so you don't send that information across the internet for anyone to see. Okay, date of birth. You want to know what my date of birth is? Yeah, I may or may not gray this out. We'll see. For the record, as I do this, I am 58. I'm going to be 59 pretty darn soon. Okay. All right, so now, even if you already received an activation, please do this again for your security. So get an activation code for your Social Security online account. So this seems like it is maybe the last step here. And how do I want to receive the activation code? I want to receive it via a text message. Like I want a phone call. You can also open this and mail my activation code, I guess, if you want to wait a long time and get it in the mail. Although if you're doing this online, like, why would you do that? It doesn't make sense. All right, we sent a text message to the account. Please allow up to 2 minutes for the code to arrive. And it does say that the code expires in 10 minutes. I have it now. So I am not having trouble. I don't need to open up this. I'm going to enter the activation code I just received. I'm going to submit this activation code, and we'll see what happens. This is a survey, which I pretty much never fill out. Now, the big one I got here, right? Congratulations. You now have access to secure online services. So, next. At this point, general terms of service. So it looks like you do kind of need to still keep going. This is probably more for the Social Security site than the My Social Security account. That's what I'm assuming. I don't know because I haven't done this before. So I am going to agree to all of these terms of service. Basically, you're telling them you accessing a U.S. government system. Usage of the system may be monitored, recorded. So, don't cheat. Tell them who you really are. Be honest here, and you should be okay. Then you have to click to agree to the terms of service. All right. Click next. Okay, yay. And as you can see, we have done all of our steps, and I now have access. I can sign in. Well, I am signed in. I could sign out. I can check all kinds of different things. I can find out when how much money I have toward retirement now, if I retired at 62, 67, et cetera, et cetera. I can replace lost cards. So you see, here's some of the things you can do. Your Social Security, you can download your Social Security statement. You can replace a Social Security card. You can get a benefit verification letter. And you can do other stuff like this. So that is how you do it. It's a lot of clicks, it's a lot of forms, but it's important stuff. And being able to do this online is so much nicer than having to go into your local Social Security office, in my opinion. That is how I did it. Everything went pretty well, I thought, pretty smoothly. It was a fair amount of effort, a lot of typing in, but now I have an account and I am ready to go. If you have done this, let us know if you had any things go wrong, right? Were there any missteps that you made, anything you learned? Were there any errors you encountered, anything like that? Let's have a conversation about this, as I want us to have for all of our videos, and let us know how it went for you. Maybe you can warn others, hey, don't do this or don't do that. And so up next, I want you to take a look at this video where I talk about the upcoming Social Security cost of living adjustments and what it's going to mean for your pocketbook. Check it out.